I'm MarzGurl.
I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
And welcome to episode 119 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover Season 3, Episode 3 of City Hunter, titled, Even Coyote's Pissed, Ryo and a Young Lady's Pitch-Hitter Marriage Story. The thing about this episode is that we're dealing with another kind of a hodgepodge, a kit bash, a buffet, a retreading, of old plot points from older episodes of City Hunter. We've just taken a little bit from column A, and a little bit from column B, and a little sprinkling of this episode to make this episode that you're about to go through.
Mixed them together, so this isn't really new shit. I feel like we're at the point right now where they just wanted to keep making City Hunter, but the manga's not done. So somehow we have to keep manufacturing more City Hunter.
And the thing is, you could try and call this filler, but most City Hunter episodes are kind of in and of themselves standalone episodes.
They are! So, it's just we keep doing the same thing now, and this isn't like a bad episode.
No, actually I find this episode quite funny.
It is. In many parts of it, it really is. Also, the animation for a lot of this episode, and really most of the season, is actually quite good, and I think it's safe to attribute that to the fact that this is a very short season by comparison to the previous two, so they probably just had all of the budget to do a much shorter series.
Right, and I think now you're starting to see all of that coming through on the screen, and all these like little animations they're doing. It's not even big things.
Although there is one really funny cheap out.
Yeah, I know. It's so we're not going to let it go when it comes up. It's just
it's very
really
obvious.
Weird. But thankfully, again, no news because, at this point I've pretty much given up on us seeing angel dust over here. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm hoping that because you say that, that's when we're going to actually hear an announcement.
I honestly think it's not going to happen because the French have already gotten theirs. The Blu-ray's going to come out in Japan later this year. This fall. Great, they get it.
We were supposed to be seeing theatrical distribution
like
this
a month
year.
And a half ago.
I feel like we were told this like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then it just never appeared.
Just word to the wise, y'all. If you have a project that you're hyping up, don't hype up unless you got something to show for it.
Well, don't do it unless you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Please. Can we not do that?
Yeah, there's nothing sadder than somebody announcing something that you know is just gonna fall through.
Like, at this point, I might just end up buying the Japanese Blu-ray, because where the fuck is the English one?
Wait, who did Aniplex?
Yeah, oh no.
no.
Aniplex always has the very expensive Blu-ray releases.
Well, yeah, because I was just looking at Crunchyroll literally last night for the two Gurren Lagann movies.
This is an American release, too, because, I know the stereotype for Japanese Blu-ray releases is that, Japan still just releases astronomically pricey Blu-rays. But no, even Aniplex USA does this.
Well, yeah, because, I love those movies. I love that series. I would love to own a copy of those movies. They want, and this is the marked down price, mind you, they want like $137
for two
movies. That is insane.
I know.
You cannot expect me to pay that price.
I mean, it's still technically...
marked down from like 178 or something.
It's still technically a Japanese company, and they're gonna sell it like it's a Japanese Blu-ray. So if we're talking about getting a Japanese Blu-ray actually from Japan out of Aniplex, get ready, y'all.
I'm just saying, at that price, it should also come with a Chogokin model of the Gurren Lagann if you're charging me that much.
Well, I'm talking about City Hunter, because this is a City Hunter podcast.
Okay, well, if you're gonna charge me $120 for just one Blu-ray of City Hunter, it better come with a Mini.
Mini Cooper?
A mini fridge.
Oh, well, that too. Mini fridge doesn't even cost $130.
A mini fridge, like we see in the opening of this season.
Where are they?
I don't know.
Whose apartment is that?
Because we're both of the mind here. I know we're all over the place right now. We are both of the mind that they are not in Shinjuku in this opening.
They look like they're in 1920s New York.
They look like they're in America somewhere. Let's put it that way.
They do.
Because it doesn't look like Hong Kong. It doesn't look like Japan. Where are they? And why is Kaori the one being shot at and Ryo's just letting her for the bulk of that opening?
Why did he leave his gun on the table?
I don't get it. He wouldn't ever do that.
We're gonna complain about that opening like every single episode
every time.
At this rate.
24/7, we're on your ass. But let's actually go ahead and focus on this very funny episode, starting off here at the apartment, seeing that Ryo is running his ass off through the apartment. Very well animated, by the way. Just him running all the way up to the top floor, closing the door, pulling his gun out like he's being chased by something that's got him spooked.
And Kaori's like, oh my god, what's going on?
He's like, get ready, they're coming. And then you hear footsteps coming up the door. Again, not the song Footsteps. Like, you hear a crowd, a small footfalls of people. And it's not any gangsters. It's not the Yakuza. It's not a helicopter that learned how to walk and got in the apartment. No, it's just all the people that Ryo owes money for drinking.
Just regular, normal business people that run their own restaurants and bars and their own personal operations, and they're just like, bro, like, we've been letting you drink and you've just been running up this tab and it's time for you to pay up, but Ryo doesn't have any money. And he lets them have his gun as collateral?
He just let them take it. That's the thing. He just let them take it.
Which, I mean, I guess that's probably worth some money, but, I mean, if I'm a normal person, I'm gonna be like, hey, this is super hella fucking illegal in this country. Maybe I would rather take something else.
Because it's not like Ryo doesn't have other stuff in the apartment they could take. They could take the stereo. They could take the Famicom that we know is there. They could take any number of the books we know are in the library that they suddenly have.
They have a computer.
They have the computer.
That computer's probably very expensive at that point in time.
Very expensive. And like so many other things you could take from Ryo, except the thing that he complains, wait, I literally need that for my job.
Better start learning to code.
I guess.
And on that new shiny computer you've got in the back over on that IBM.
Yeah, you could learn how to do cybersecurity in less than 6 months. Or so the internet tells me.
Well, I think it's a little early for the internet to tell you that you can learn how to do cybersecurity.
And Cody's just looking at him like, wow, you really let him take your gun, huh? Well, serves you right. You know, you're not paying your bills. Of course they're going to take your stuff.
But Ryo counters that with, well, you're not letting us pick up jobs because you keep denying all the ones from women. And Kaori's like, you know what, you're right. You're right. Let me flip through my little booklet I've got here, my notebook. I do have a job. It is from a woman, but I guess if you can't even pay for your drinks, we're gonna have to do this one.
I do want to point out, like, here, the little flourish of her flipping through the notebook, the pages flipping, is more detailed than it would be in other seasons.
That's very true. Like I said, the animation in this episode, in some places, is like, oh, wow, look at the detail they put in there.
But Cowdy goes ahead and gives Ryo the information that he needs. Like, okay, at 1 p.m., we need to meet up at Oshiuri TV station. A Miss Kanako Date will be talking to you. She didn't say what the request was about, but I assume she needs you for something. Ryo, I guess it must be pretty close to 1, and he just bolts out the door.
We don't even see him leave through the door. He's just gone. That door is open, and he's gone.
Like Homer Simpson, yoo! Yeah, like he heard there were donuts nearby. So we get to this TV station, and we see, there's a lot of very attractive women walking around in the lobby. Ryo is noting, ooh, man, I gotta put this place on my to-go visit list.
Like, you just go here to look at women? Just look at them as they walk through the halls. I mean, couldn't you do that pretty much anywhere? Because women walk through places.
Like, women exist. In society. We live in a society, Ryo.
With women
With women. He's aware of that, but just not the way the rest of us think. So Ryo sees Kanako walking up, and she's a very attractive, very 80s dressed woman in kind of like this two-piece like skirt suit.
Ladies business blazer skirt.
Designing women is what I'm telling you. Ryo, we need to point out here, he's standing next to this billboard for the show.
It's a poster, really. Just a very large poster on the wall. So since it's on the wall inside the building, I don't know that I would call it a billboard.
Well, it's an advertisement.
It's a poster.
For this show that we're assuming this TV station runs. In Japanese, thanks to Ryo helping us with the pronunciation, we know it's called Asobu Deka, which is translated there, pretty reasonably translated as playing detectives. But we were interested in the choice of word that they used here.
Well, yeah, because I admit, my Japanese, it's only so I can look up kanji pretty easily, and I'm like, okay, this kanji is Keiji, which is detective, police detective. My immediate thought, I immediately assumed it would have been pronounced Keiji.
That's one way of doing it. The other way that you can hear for detective, because that's the translation, is Tante, which is where my mind went.
Yeah, but that wasn't the kanji. Tante is another...
It's another type of detective.
Yeah, but we're specifically talking about police detective. So I admittedly don't know how it is that Ryo knew that the pronunciation was going to be Deka instead of Keiji.
Or Tante, yeah.
Well, no, I just said Tante is a different kanji. Okay. No, it could only be those two words. So basically what I'm saying is that this kanji can be read 2 different ways, and I admittedly absolutely don't know when you choose which one of the two.
Yeah, because to me, it's not that I didn't know that you could use Deca in that place, because for me, there was a Kamen Rider movie called Climax Deca, which translates as Climax Detectives. That, I don't think they used kanji necessarily, but the translation comes across as, yes, it's detective.
The Die Hard arcade game was released over here in North America, packaged to look like Die Hard.
The one in 95, 96?
96, but it was not originally a Die Hard game. In Japan, it was just called Dynamite Deca. It's using the kanji that we saw on screen. So I guess, like, you just pick, I don't know, maybe there's like a rule that tells you, oh, you pronounce it this way in this situation, but I don't know. I think they just made a choice.
To me, it comes across as one of those things like Tante as if you're being official, and Deca as being more colloquial.
Well, Deca is definitely more slangy.
Yeah,
100%.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's what it is.
That could be.
So that having been said, Ryo is under the impression that Kaneko here is going to ask him to be on TV for something. Like, hey, so you need me to show up on this play-in detective show? I guess I can do that. You know, I like TV. I like things about detectives. And she's like, no. It's not that poster that you're standing next to that we're going to show up on. It's this poster that I'm standing next to. And we look across from her, and there's a completely different poster with a show, it's translated as Come On Over Newlyweds.
And there's a married couple on the poster.
Or actually, it's not a married couple, it's the hosts of the show.
Oh, is it the hosts of the show?
The hosts of the show.
Genuinely thought that was like...
No, I thought that at first,
a bride
too.
and a groom.
No, it's the hosts of the show.
Okay, fine, it's the hosts of the show. Anyway, those hosts want to talk to newlywed couples.
Right, because, like, over here in the States, in the 80s, they had, like, the newlywed game. That was a thing.
Sure. They've, like, reinvented that a few times over the years.
Right, exactly. So Ryo's like, excuse me, what? We're not married. Why is this? Huh? And she's like, come on, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna tape right now.
Meanwhile, all the way back over at Cat's Eye, this show is about to come on. Kaori is sitting here talking to Umibozu and Miki, and Kaori's like, oh my god, I really want to watch this Come On Over Newlyweds show. That show is so funny. She has no idea. And
mind you, she was already over there to fill them in on the fact that Ryo got his gun taken away, which gives Umibozu no end of delight. Like, he calls himself a professional. Professionals don't get their guns taken away. He sucks.
But little do they know, that guy that they were just talking about is about to show up on their TV right now.
So they turn on the TV, which happens to already be tuned to that channel, I guess.
Look, it's 1989. There's only so many channels.
No, you're right. And I don't think Umibozu or Miki pay for cable.
I'm sure they just get over-air broadcasts.
So the show starts, and the hosts are like, hey, welcome to the show. Let's bring out our newlywed couple. Come on out, Ryo and Kaneko. And Kaori's like, excuse me?
And Miki, meanwhile, is like, oh, this is great. Like, the look on her face is just, she's so charmed by what she sees.
I can imagine her leaning over to Umibozu like, it's about to be good.
Or maybe she's even like, oh, I want to be like that one day too, Umibozu. Like, that's another thing I'm thinking in my head.
Oh, no, you're right.
Like,
that could be a read.
She really is like, oh, this is so sweet. And she's just not even thinking about the implications of what is going on right now.
And so the two hosts, a man and woman, kind of like this Regis and Kelly sort of setup. The male host is asking Kaneko, hey, so you guys are newly married. Welcome to the show. Tell us, what is it you like so much about Ryo? And Kaneko's just telling him, oh, he's all over me. He can't get enough of me. And Ryo's just like, what the hell are you talking about?
And she's like, you better start playing along because I've got this gun in your back right now that she managed to get all the way up on set with cameras on and everything.
See, the 80s, the late 80s were a different time, and you could get all the way onto stage with a gun.
I guess.
So I assume.
Because that is what has happened, and Ryo decides, all right, let's just play along for now. Yep, she's so hot.
She's so cute. I love her so much. Meanwhile, over at the bar, Kaori is just absolutely losing her shit.
Just all the shit. It's gone.
Like they're doing their best to hold her back from like punching the TV right now.
That's our one TV. We need that TV for the other customers and ourselves. We like that TV.
And back on the show, the female host is asking Kaneko, okay, so what's another thing that you like about him? What keeps you guys active? What do you guys like? And Kaneko, apparently showing that she knows who Ryo is as a person, says, oh, you know what I love? The Mokkori.
Like 10, 20 times a day. Just boning boners abound everywhere.
An abundance
all
of
the time.
boners. You know, I come home, 30 boners just waiting for me right there at the door. I've had 50 boners by bedtime, 100 boners within one night.
They literally have to cut to commercial to shut her the fuck up. Although Rio's not really fighting.
Like, Rio's kind of got this look on his face like, no, that'd be me. I'd do that. Like he doesn't deny it in the slightest. Because that's what he would do. If he was settled down. If it were true. If it were true and he was settled down with somebody, that's what Rio would do.
But the problem is it isn't true.
And at this point, back over at Cat's Eye, Coyote's damn near shot the TV. She's pulled out her revolver, and they're trying to get the gun out of her hands.
No. But also, she is not the only person watching this TV show. You would hope, because if only 3 people are watching on one TV, that's insanely terrible ratings.
And that show would get canceled.
But there is another guy somewhere else within broadcast vicinity who is also watching this show.
Somebody with a $20 haircut over here, which is a different kind of insult in 1989. And this guy has thrown like a 15 kilogram hand weight at the TV, breaking it.
He looks like he should be able to lift more than 15, honestly. I don't know why he's only lifting 15.
We don't know. Maybe he had just started his reps. Like, he just started, he's starting low and he's working up. And it just happened to be right at 1 o'clock, whatever, when the show airs. And this guy is fuming, seeing Kaneko and Rio there on TV.
He has thrown a weight through his television.
Yes, he has broken his television.
He's in what I'm assuming is his own home personal gym.
Right, yeah.
And he's just like, I'm mad. And you can only assume, if Kaori's got a problem with Rio, then this guy's got a problem with Kaneko.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe assumption, which we'll have confirmed in just a moment. So after the show is over, Rio is walking with Kaneko back to the parking lot because, they're going to leave the set. And Rio's like, that was a pretty nice movie pull there, using this water gun to throw me off.
He even pulls the trigger to illustrate. Yeah, the water straight up into the air. And she's like, oh, yeah, I figured you would know. I mean, you are City Hunter after all, so...
Oh, so you know about me. You know who I am. Well, you care to explain what it is I'm doing here? And she's like, no, wait, we'll get to that. Oh, here, we're at my car. And it's this Ferrari Testarossa bright cherry red.
Oh, weren't we gonna look up how much that thing should cost? Because they say right here in the episode how much it costs at that point in time, right?
Like millions of yen or billions of yen. Like, if we just look it up right now, Ferrari Testarossa.
Sure, Carfax. How much is a Ferrari Testarossa? A 1988 model, which I would say that would be pretty close to what she would be driving. Yeah, pretty damn close, yeah. It looks almost exactly like it. In fact, bright red, it is nearly $165,000. Now.
For a used one.
Clearly used because it's 35 years old.
But think about how much that was back then. That had to be at least $200,000.
Entirely possible, yes.
This is an expensive ass car. And so I love bringing this up because there's this thing going on Twitter right now of name or show or post a clip from a show or a movie that you can't help but laugh at every time you see it. And one of the ones that I love so much is from Bob's Burgers of Gene playing this arcade game.
Yeah.
And you see he's on the little seat, you're there at the arcade, the little motorcycle game, you see it counting down.
3, 2, 1,
go. And then he immediately tanks it.
Well, he makes an immediate left or right turn straight into a wall.
And that gets me every time.
So Kaneko's like, here, hop into my Ferrari Testarossa that I just got, and I have no idea how much it cost because, I just buy these things because I'm super fucking rich.
And she immediately backs it into the wall, wrecking it.
She's like, oh no, that's the 7th one. What do you mean it's the 7th one?
7th? Excuse me? Do you know how much these things are? I know how much things cost. I do my own books. And they've just wrecked this car when all of a sudden this Benz pulls up. And if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you know that only assholes drive Benzes.
Yeah, the Mercedes-Benzes are purely designated for the bad guy.
Yes.
That is it. Nobody else drives a Mercedes-Benz.
So sure enough, this douchebag that we saw throw the weight at the TV steps out in a suit. And he's introduced as Toru Kazuma of Kazuma Industries. And he is apparently very much vying for Kaneko's affection.
And he's like, so this is the husband, huh? And she's like, yep, that's him.
You sure he's not after your money? I bet he's after your money.
Nope. Bye. That's really all this conversation amounts to, right?
Well,
like, they have some back and forth, but...
It is very brief, and I love that Ryo ends it with, come on, baby, let's go home and Mokkori. Like, okay, whatever, dude face, I'm gonna go bang this chick that you're into.
He's very upset about this.
So they're walking through the park now, having gotten away from this guy, like, just paying him no mind. And they're walking through the park, and 4 more suitors show up in expensive-ass Italian cars, and they all have to be brushed away like, sorry, shop's closed, I'm off the market.
No, how could you get married? How could you do this to all of us?
And Ryo's talking to Kaneko as those guys are walking away like, I gotta go. He's like, oh, okay, I see what it is. I'm just repellent for these guys.
Well, all of these suitors suck, because as she explains to him, they don't want me, they want my money.
Okay, yeah, I get that. So they all have, a desire for your money. What about that guy who seems to have money?
Oh yeah, that guy's just an asshole.
Oh, you just don't like that guy. Okay, yeah, I'm with that. Okay, sure. Like, it's that simple.
It really is.
But as we're understanding here, Kaneko is loaded with a capital L. And she's trying to prove that Ryo is in fact in a relationship with her, that they're actually married. And the thing about that is, if he's going to be with her, he has to look like he's of a certain status.
Right, so the easiest way to show that off would be, hey, if I buy myself expensive cars all the time...
And we've just seen like 5 expensive cars on screen that weren't immediately wrecked.
We need to go get Ryo an expensive-ass car. My question is, though, like, did he not drive himself down to that TV station already? Like, he drove himself probably in the Mini Cooper and just left the Mini Cooper
Unless he
there.
walked?
Like, I guess he could have taken the train
Well,
today.
no, because think about it. He ran. He's been running most of the episode. He might have
he
just
was
been...
so excited, he just ran all the way to the TV station.
Yeah, like he, Roadrunner ran his ass over there.
Okay, so I guess for today, fine, we need to get him a car. But this is like a dealership that is just, it's shit like the Ferrari Testarossa.
It's like a high-end dealership.
Sports cars, like foreign sports cars,
Lamborghini,
for sure.
Maserati, all that stuff. And she's like, hey, take your pick. Price is no option. Get whatever you like.
And he's just like, baby, I'm not into this shit.
And off in the corner, he sees this 1964 Volvo 122S hoopty. Like, this is a piece of crap car.
Was it 64 or 68? I mean,
No,
you wrote it down, so. In fact, I want to go look this thing up.
Okay.
1964 Volvo, what?
122S.
Oh, there it is, 122S. I mean, yeah, it's like this. It's this thing.
You say it's like this as though people can see it along with us.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's like literally the very first picture that pops up is the one that Ryo ends up seeing and drag. Like, I love that it comes off this website that's called Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
That perfectly describes literally the car that he's pointing at outside. And think about it, this is old to us because it's 1964, and right now it is 2024. That is quite the difference in decades. But it's also fairly old. It's a 25-year-old car anyway in 1989, right? And they're looking at him like, I mean, we were just literally about to trash this sucker.
Like, if to us, it's a 50-year-old car now. Yeah, because this thing, it's got dents, it's scuffed up, it looks like it's got some road miles on it. And Ryo's like, nope, that's the one. I gotta drive that. And so that's the one they take off the lot.
She agrees. She buys him a Volvo. They must have, I mean, unless they were like, we really were just about to write this thing off.
No, that's what they say. They're like, we were just about to scrap this thing. And Ryo's like, great, I'll take it off your hands.
So I get it. Do you think he didn't even pay for it?
The way I took it was either Ryo just literally took it off their hands like they didn't pay for it, or it was so much in disrepair and so old that Ryo paid for it out of his own pocket.
With what money? He can't even afford to pay off his drinking tab.
Then I guess they bought it for super cheap then. That's the only thing that works.
For like 1,000 yen, which is...
1,000 yen?!
Which is less than $10.
I think you need to add a couple more zeros on there.
You're the one who said it was possible they took it for free. That's why I said like $10.
But like if you're gonna pay for a car, it's gotta be a little more than $10.
You think it was $100?
At least $500.
You think it was... I don't know. 1989, $500 is kind of a lot of money for a hoopty.
Yeah, but it's still a hoopty compared to what they have there on display. Like that's
Which is why I think $500 in 1989 is too much.
How about $250? 250, fine.
250.
250, deal. You just bought a car.
Great. Well, this car sucks, okay? And this lady is she's so dejected, like, I can't believe this is what we're riding in. I didn't even know my cars that I was driving were able to go so fast because I've never been in a car so slow before.
And Ryo's explaining to her, look, they're not going to be looking for you in a hoopty. They're not going to be looking for you in a broke-ass car. This is a great way to lose the suitors. Unfortunately, though, we're going to have to take evasive action because we are, in fact, being followed by a little white VW bug.
If you want to talk little hoopties, and that's kind of how he explains it, too. Like, oh, I guess this is just going to be a race between two classics, huh? And he's got to take the exit ramp and get off the freeway while being chased by a Volkswagen Beetle.
Which, again, Volkswagen Beetles, like, it looks like it's, the 60s era kind of Beetle.
Right.
So that thing maybe weighs 120 pounds wet. Like that, there's not a lot to an old Volkswagen Beetle.
Very lightweight and very unsafe.
So we get this little chase sequence here, which is a delight to me, because I wish we had more in City Hunter.
Yeah.
But Ryo manages to ditch the VW ducking through alleys.
He does duck through an alley, but he also decides to, like, brake check the Volkswagen.
Yeah,
And the Volkswagen collides with the Volvo's rear end, and because a Volkswagen has the trunk in the front, it just collapses.
Yeah, the front is for storage, and the engine's actually in the back. The engine's
in the back. Super dangerous, by the way. It's very dangerous.
And Ryo's like, what did I tell you? Reliable car. All right, let's get out of here. But before he can get out of the alley, they're pincered in by a bunch of other cars with dudes also looking to take shots.
And these guys, like, they've just gotten out. They're ready to fire, right?
And Ryo's like, man, you must really be worth something if they're here to take you. And Kaneko's having to correct him. No. They're not here for me. They're here for you. Because you're my husband.
Because somebody is pissed that you're the guy connected to me now. And sure enough, yeah, they're pointing their guns at Ryo. They mad.
Ryo gets out of the car like, all right, y'all want to settle this? Let's go. I don't have a gun, but we're going to handle this. And they take him around the corner into one of these other alleys. And all of a sudden you just hear from around the corner a burst of gunfire. And she's like, oh no!
How could they have? But she comes around the corner too, and you know how this was gonna go. Ryo has knocked the shit out of these three dudes, disarmed them.
He's like, what? It was just three dudes. I got this. And she's like, oh, I guess you do live up to your name as City Hunter.
And then these guys, who don't know what City Hunter looks like, but have definitely heard of who City Hunter is, are like, ah, fuck! We did not know this was who you were.
We are so sorry.
My bad, man. Can we just get the fuck out of here?
We're just gonna go, man. I gotta go.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And they just haul ass out of there. So Ryo's going over this with Kaneko, like, oh, okay, so you know who I am, right? You know how I roll. You also know how I get paid, right? I get paid in Mokkori.
In Mokkori.
So, how do you want to pay up? You want to pay now? You want to pay later?
She's like, oh no, we can go right now. You want to go over to my apartment, my condo? Like, they've translated it as condo, which I think is fine.
I think that's accurate,
because what she says is mansion, but as we've discussed here, mansion doesn't literally mean a mansion. It just means a really fucking nice apartment. So condo, I think, is fine. Yeah, go to my condo. Let's go right now.
And Ryo, like, grabs her, and again, he's Roadrunner running his ass all the way to her condo. I don't know that he knew the address offhand, but it's not hard to miss, because when they get there, it's an entire building with her name on it. The Date Group building.
And he's like, so which one of these apartments is yours? And she's like, all of them! My initial thought was, Ryo, what are you shocked about? You own a building. But then again...
It's not shit compared to this. No, this is a high-end luxury condo building. Like,
there's a lot of gold in the naming outside the building.
Like these big-ass ceiling-to-floor windows.
Fairly opulent.
Yes.
So they get up to the top, or to wherever the hell her room is. I don't know.
It doesn't really matter where it is. And Kaneko's telling Ryo, all right, go ahead and get comfy. I'm going to get changed so we can do Mokkori easier. And he's like, oh my god.
This is actually going really well.
This is actually gonna happen on my 117th try.
After 2.5 years. And I'm like, wait, are we being specific?
Yes, we are.
By episode number and the running length of time that all of the City Hunter anime has been going?
That is correct.
This is episode production order number 117. And this series has been going approximately 2.5 years at this point.
And I love that meta-ness to it, because we don't get a lot of that here in the show.
I don't know. It seems like it's been creeping up more and more often lately.
I guess now, because
almost every episode, they are telling you what production number the episode is in some way, on screen or something.
And the way I assume this is working right now, though, is that if blood is flowing elsewhere in Ryo's body, it's not flowing to the part of his brain that has, like, the spidey sense going off that somebody's coming up the hallway with a hammer.
Because Kaori's here, because she knew, oh my god, this lady was on TV with Ryo, this is where they are, I'm gonna find Ryo, because Ryo's the one I'm really mad at. It's not really, like, it's not so much the lady, Ryo is always the problem.
I mean, the lady, there must be something going on there too, but it's really Ryo. This hammer's for him. And, like, one of the doors she's just standing next to happens to open up, and there's Kaneko on the other side, like, oh, you must be Kaori. And this is the second time somebody recognizes Kaori, like, oh, you're the other half of City Hunter.
Well, at least this lady, she's not very good at driving, but she is smart enough to do her research on who it is she's hiring.
And from the other side of the door, because I guess she's in a different room than Ryo's in right now, because, you know, she left to get comfy or whatever. Ryo's like, hey, baby, I can't wait no more. Here I come. And he, like, busts through the door and jumps through the air like he normally does.
But hammer.
To the face. He's like, wait a minute. I know this hammer. Shit. It's Kaori.
This is not Kaneko at all.
And again, Kaori is about to bring the hammer down on him like, how the hell did you get married without telling me?
And he's like, no. It's a fake marriage. We've done this before. Come on now.
And Kaneko's there over on the side like, no, he's right.
Oh, whoops. Let me put this away now.
Like, we don't see her put it away,
no,
but
it's just gone.
It's just gone. And the thing of it is, yeah, we've seen this kind of plot before of somebody having to fake a marriage because there's too many suitors. Season 1 that happened. I think that happened again in Season 2.
There was the time that it happened with the underage girl.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, it was fake, but she really fell for him anyway. I mean, thankfully, he did not want to be involved with it after she fell for him. He was like, no, we are not doing this. Most of the time, when a woman has decided, you know what, I've actually fallen in love with you, and I want to suggest marriage, Ryo just nopes out.
The thing is, compared to that, you know, being the younger girl in that episode in a previous season, this time, Ryo's done his homework, like, no, this is a job, Kaori, this is Kaneko, she's the president of this company worth 40 billion yen.
That is a lot of yen. I mean, right now, that's $255 million, but that was 40 billion yen in 1989 money.
So I would imagine that's actually closer to a billion.
Do we know the air date of the episode? You know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna pick...
It's in October.
It's in October?
$36 billion in today's money.
Shit.
Like, okay, like, Ryo, you might want to talk to Kaori about, this is so much money.
It's a lot of money.
This will solve everything. And Ryo's filling in Kaori, like, yeah, she got all this money because her dad died.
Her dad just died.
She inherited all the money, and now all these suitors started showing up, I assume.
And they all just want to marry her because she's, excuse me, a fucking billionaire.
But Kaneko's filling in Ryo, well, it's not just that. Like, yeah, I figured that was going to happen, but then things started getting a little weird because the suitors all started getting into accidents all of a sudden.
And, you know, they were just minor accidents. Nobody got, like, seriously hurt. And, truth be told, I kind of felt like they all fucking deserved it. But actually...
Mind you, she says that. We're not making that up. No, she says that.
She says, well, they just wanted my money, so they fucking had it coming. But, to be fair, I did reach a point of concern where I thought they might die. And then that was a bridge too far. So, now I'm like, why the fuck is that all happening? So, I needed City Hunter here to help me figure out why that was happening and maybe make that shit stop.
Yeah, to kind of drive out the culprit into the open.
I mean, we already know who it is. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Because if you don't know, you're about to know. Because over at Cat's Eye, that asshole Kazuha is currently looking to hire the one person who could take out City Hunter, Umibozu.
Okay, so we're doing this thing again where we already know how this is gonna go.
We know exactly how this goes.
You don't even have to watch the rest of the episode almost. It's always like somebody tries to hire Umibozu because they don't know that Umibozu is secretly friends with Ryo. He will never admit it, but he is.
Well, he
He's
can't
definitely...
ever admit it. It would be bad for business.
It would be bad for business, and just on a personal level, he can't ever bring himself to admit that he's friends with him. Why would he do that? He needs to think that he's number one, and that they are rivals. And if he admits that they're friends, then they won't be rivals anymore. So Umibose, Umibose is gonna take the job, and then he's gonna find some loophole to nope himself out of the job, and then he's gonna fuck off. We win! Like, this has happened at least 3 times now, okay?
I think more than that, like 4 or 5 at this point.
Quite possibly. I'll take your word for it. We already know how this goes. So, okay, fine. He's like, you think I can't do this job? I can do this job if I want to. I might do this job. Let's see what happens. He's kind of playing chicken with this guy, like, bet you won't give me that job. You won't. No, I'll give you the... I came here to give you the job. Why are you being like this with me? Do it. Bye.
Here, take this Polaroid that we have of Rio recently where he looks really funny.
It's a good picture. I might use that picture later. It's a good picture.
I think you should. And admittedly, yes, this is telegraphing the end of the episode, but please listen to the rest of this episode so we can get through it, because it's funny. But I guess right now, Kaneko's not that worried about how things are going to go, because she figures, well, I think we've gotten everybody up to speed. I want to go to a disco tonight.
Gonna go to a nightclub. I just gotta dance.
That's what she tells Cowdy. Like, come on, Cowdy, let's go dance. And Cowdy's trying to tell her, like, don't you have any sort of concern right now? Like, somebody might try to do something. He's like, nah, Ryo's here. We're good. We're solid.
Well, our douchebag guy who just hired Umibozu also came to the club.
So he's also following her.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. What's extra weird, I mean, we already know this guy's a fucking weirdo, but he just waltzes up to Ryo. He's not wearing gloves. He's just in possession of, like, a single glove that he's just holding in his hand and smacks Ryo across the face with and then just drops it on the ground. Like, he just did it in the most performative douchebag way possible.
Like, this is that, overly... You've got it all wrong about chivalry. I demand satisfaction. I challenge thee to a duel, knave. Sort of bullshit. And Ryo's like, really? You're doing this to me? Do you know who I am? He's like, yeah, I overheard who you are. You're City Hunter. I don't care. I'll lay down my life to prove that I...
Oh, I bet you will. You've already hired another guy.
See, that's the thing. He's so full of shit.
He's full of shit. Now, meet me over on the Tokyo Bay landfill.
At midnight.
You want me to meet you on a pile of garbage to do this standoff, this duel. Okay, bro. See you later.
And I hate this guy so much, because as he's leaving, he's literally, like, saying to himself, I just did that, and I'm so cool. And immediately after that, Kaneko's like, man, that guy is so not cool.
That guy smells his own farts. It's weird how Ryo is like, didn't you think that was cool? And she's like, no, are you stupid?
Like, Ryo was assuming, because he's been through this a couple of times already, if this is gonna happen, is she going along with it? Is this really a rerun? And refreshingly, she's like, oh no, I hate this guy, even now.
Yeah.
So Kazuma goes back to his mansion and tries to tell his lackeys, alright, you guys better get it right this time and take out this guy. I don't care if he's, what would you say his name was, City Hunter?
Well, this is such a weird conversation, and the lackeys think so too. They're like, sir, we already fucked with him.
And we found out.
What do you mean get it right this time? And he's like, you're just backing up the guy I hired.
Yeah, a guy by the name of Umibozu. He's supposed to be the second best in the city.
Possibly even the first if we just knock out Ryo. Oh, okay, well since you hired that guy, sounds like we're in the clear. Although if it was me, I would be like, if you already hired a guy, why do you need me? Why do you need me?
Because this guy's insecure and he's trying to hedge his bets. That's why.
And he's just real mad, and he's speed punching this speed bag.
Like, he looks like he could kind of fight if he wanted to.
Why is he fucking around with anybody else? Like, go pick a fight.
Because he can't afford to. That's literally all it is. And that's really all there is to that conversation, because we immediately go to the landfill. Like, it jumps to midnight.
I guess Ryo has given up his Volvo because the Mini Cooper's there. Where's the Volvo?
They probably sent it back. Or maybe it got towed off because it was a hoot.
Maybe he put it in his garage and now it's just one of his plentiful vehicles that he actually has.
He's got another backup vehicle, fine. Or maybe he sold it so he could have money for when he needs it. Mm-hmm. And of course, Kazuma's being a douche. He's like, okay, so yeah, duel time? You're not gonna fight me, you're gonna fight that that guy. And here comes Umibozu pulling up in the Jeep.
No, it's a Land Rover.
No, the Land Rover's when it's got it covered. This is the Jeep.
So he has 2 vehicles?
He has 2 vehicles, yeah. He's got the Land Rover, which is the SUV, and he's got the Jeep, which has no top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's pulling up in the Jeep, him and Miki.
And obviously Ryo is like, this guy doesn't know what's gonna go down. Are you kidding me?
Because at this point, Ryo is experiencing Groundhog Day. Like, he knows how this goes.
Really, both Ryo and Umibozu are like, we got this shit figured out.
Like,
Miki doesn't totally understand
Maybe
yet.
not, but you could imagine, like, I wish, like, if this had been made now, I wish they were, like, telepathically having this nonverbal conversation, like, oh, Umibozu, you're here. Yep. So this means, yep. So how long are we going to give it? About 5 minutes. Great. Glad we had this conversation.
In fact, not even that long.
No, not even that.
Because there is a very weird 20 seconds that happens here.
Right here.
Okay.
So Umibozu and Miki have gotten out of the Jeep, and Ryo and Umibozu are facing off.
We don't actually see Miki get out of this car.
We assume she's gotten out.
We don't. No, I was not under the assumption that Miki had gotten out of the car. I thought it was like a, hey, wait here in the car, baby, sort of a situation.
Okay, maybe.
Okay?
Even so.
We will not know for a little bit, okay?
For about 20 seconds.
And everybody's kind of chewing the fat, being real snarky. Like 20 seconds of this, only for you to see, not only did the guy hire Umibozu, but he's got 3 dudes up on a cliff in the tree line above them to make extra sure that there are extra guns pointed at Ryo to be very confident that Ryo is going to die.
And Ryo has spotted them because, Ryo can do that. Like, hey, Umibozu, I don't think this guy actually trusts you. Look over there. And you can see the guys up in the tree line with, like, Uzis drawn.
And it has been, like, a grand total of 20 seconds, okay?
Like we were counting.
And Miki is up there. She has sprayed fire onto these guys.
Like, she's got her own
Uzi.
Uzi.
She has her own gun, and these guys all fall to the ground, and I don't know how she's gotten up there, okay? Like, I thought she was still in the car. Somehow, she went all the way up this cliff in 20 seconds.
Like, we forget Miki is capable because she was trained as a mercenary as well.
Capable, sure, but it took you 20 seconds to go all the way up a cliff without anybody noticing you finding these guys? Nobody noticed her just bolt?
I guess not. I guess Miki's good. Or these guys suck that bad.
It could be, but then, she pops out over the ridge, and when I say she pops, this is the one piece of animation in the entire episode where the animators were just like, fuck it, we're not actually gonna animate, we're just gonna slide the cell up, okay? We're just...
Like, you can almost hear the penny whistle of... And now Miki's on screen like, hey guys, I took care of the dudes in the tree line, you're all safe now.
And she jumps off the cliff, and she drops her weapon, as if, I'm done with this shit now. I'm at it. You don't still need your gun?
I guess not, because it was really only 4 dudes, and Kazuma was one of them.
And so Umibozu, guess what? Has found his loophole. He's like, so, you didn't trust me to do the job you hired me to do? You tried to bring in backup? That's not cool. Contract broken. I'm out of here.
And they just leave.
He just fucks off. He wasn't even there for a total of 3 minutes.
He didn't even shoot anybody. He didn't throw anybody. He didn't break a wall with a bazooka. No, he's just like, nah, screw this.
He looks, I have to assume he's looking for loopholes. They didn't sign a contract.
No.
He just looks for an excuse to not actually have to fight Ryo. Because he doesn't actually want to unless it's under his own terms.
Right, like if he's in that kind of mood that particular episode. So now these 3 guys are disarmed, but they're here, still thinking they have a chance because, for whatever it's worth, Umibozu told them before he drove off, hey, just so y'all know, he ain't got no gun right now, so maybe you could take him. Which is either him being an asshole to Ryo, or being like, here, have fun with these guys.
I think it's have fun, because he knows Ryo is still gonna kick their asses. He knows that.
And these guys are so stupid, they're like, oh wait, City Hunter doesn't have a gun. We have never heard about City Hunter wrecking shit using anything but a gun. We can take him.
Well, clearly they don't know that much about City Hunter then. I mean, they didn't know what his face looked like, so they have not done enough homework, obviously. So everybody gets pachinko balled in the face, because remember, this is a thing he sometimes does. He must have just preloaded his pockets with pachinko balls, knowing that he doesn't have his gun on
I've
him.
always been of the mind, like, he's got some on him at any given time.
But this is weird, too. We also know he's got an armory. He could have just gone downstairs and picked up another gun if he felt like it. It just means he just didn't feel like it.
No, he likes this gun.
He just knew he didn't even need it. He knew that this was a punk-ass bitch.
Yeah,
and
you're
he was
right.
not going to need his gun. So he came with what? Pachinko balls.
Yeah.
He beat his enemies with fucking pachinko balls.
And they all go down.
He just flicks them at him with his thumb, right? This is not the first time he has done this. We brought up that episode where, like, the super ninja guy who stole his boner power, like, he had to chase him from rooftop to rooftop, and I think in that episode Ryo was flicking pachinko balls at him, but specifically in the manga, he was hitting him in the nuts with the pachinko balls.
No, because I think in the episode he was hitting, like, the side of ledges he was grabbing onto, so that would make him fall.
Right. It was making it more comical, whereas the manga was turning it into nut shots.
Which to me is way funnier.
It was way funnier, but...
But here, these guys get flicked with pachinko balls enough to, they're like, man, we're done with this shit. You handle it on your own. And all three of them take off.
And the guy's like, okay, fine, I will. I can throw a punch. Yeah, good luck with that when I just trip you. Like, this is so fucking easy.
It's so pathetic. And, like, he tries grabbing for one of the guns that one of the guys dropped, and Ryo's just stomping on his hand. Like, really? Really? We're doing this? And it's at this point that Kaori and Kaneko show up, and Ryo's trying to explain, hey, so you should probably know, Kaneko, this guy's broke. He's actually filing for bankruptcy for his company, so all that shit about him loving you, no, he just wants your money too.
He's not any different from anybody else. And the guy is on the ground. He's turned into this blubbering mess, like, I didn't know what else to do.
I had nowhere else to go. I just love money so much. And she's like, man, if you had actually been as honest as you were pretending to be, you might have had a shot. But now you ain't getting shit. I mean, you weren't going to get shit before, but now you're getting less than that. Just get out of here.
By the way, Ryo, now I'm actually very serious about Mokkori time. Since you saved my life, how about we get on out of here and actually get Ryo married for realsies?
Oh, so you want to go back to my place?
Really?
Nah, screw that, I'm going home. Like he totally blows her off, like, no, you think this is gonna get you a real man just having a lot of money? Nah, screw that, I'm out of here.
Well, like I said earlier in the episode, too, usually when these things happen and a lady actually falls in love with Ryo and then starts saying, oh my god, we should actually get married, Ryo gets all scared and he runs away.
Not this time, though.
This time he was, like, super fucking cool, and Kaori was, like, real nervous for a second. Like, she's watching her ask Ryo to actually go through with marriage, and then Ryo just coolly like, nah, baby, I'm out of here.
Well,
and
it's not just that. It's that he tells her, hey, look, realize you're an attractive woman all on your own without the money. Believe in yourself.
Get rid of the money and maybe you'll find the right man. And Kaori, like, walks away with Ryo, and she's got this look on her face like, yeah, that was so fucking cool.
Also, she gets to keep her man.
I know. Her man that maybe is her man and maybe isn't. Like, she doesn't really know, but I mean, he kind of is.
So they go back to the apartment. It's the next day, and we find out in the morning paper that Kaneko has decided to donate the entirety of her $40 billion to charity.
Well, it was 40 billion yen.
Well, yeah, 40 billion yen, same deal.
Whatever, it's a fuck ton of money, alright? Like, watch a billionaire do that shit.
Yeah, Elon.
Get wrecked. But I assume that she paid Ryo for the job before she did that, because there is an assumption that he got paid, and therefore he should be able to pay off all of his tabs at all of these restaurants and bars and shit.
Mind you, they've all come back to the apartment again.
Because it turns out he has not done that. He has not paid off all of his bills. The guys have come back. I assume they still have his gun as collateral, and they're like, so where's the money? And Kaori's like, yeah, where's the money? You should have had it now. And he's like,
I drank it.
I drank it, and he runs away. This is where he's the coward, and he runs away. I thought it was gonna happen sooner, and it was like, oh no, it was just a little late, that's all.
Wait, they're here for the money? Run. Bam, 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 bam. And he's booking it again. Like, he's getting his cardio in this episode.
Stops at, like, a park or something, and he's huffing and puffing, and just, oh god, oh jeez. Kaneko's out there, after having ditched all of her money, and is basically like, okay, I ditched the money, you gonna marry me now?
You want Mokkori for real now? And he's like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, we can do that. You know, I'll forget all of my problems to get some lovin'.
Unfortunately, his problems are literally chasing him from his apartment down the street. They're like, give us our money! And he's like, oh no, I don't have it. But Kaori looks like she's come up to save the day. She's in her Fiat, and she pulls up next to Rio like, so you need to hop a ride to get out of here? And like, Rio is like, oh my god.
Thank you so much, Kaori, I love you. And he tries to jump in the window.
But she clocks him in the face as he's trying to jump in. And she's like, haha, psych.
And she just leaves his ass.
Like, she didn't need to do that. He was already screwed.
Yeah.
Like, he was already boned. They were already chasing him down for the money. Kaori could have just let them do it. And instead, she's like, you know what shit would be really funny? if I got in my car and made him think he had even the slightest chance of getting the fuck out of that situation, and then I rug pull him. You just rug pull this motherfucker.
She did it for the lulz. And that's where we have a freeze frame, and that's where the episode ends. That's great.
Yeah, like, again, this is not, like, in any way an important episode.
I just like, just right here at the end, like, this is one of the few times Kaori gets one on Rio.
Well, yeah, because
like this.
Rio several times has just been a dick just because he thought it was funny to Kaori. And Kaori does not often get the chance to do that back to him. Sure, she hits him and stuff, whatever, and it's usually in response to some stupid shit he's done. But normally she's not, like, pulling pranks. This is clearly a prank.
Well, because it's like, the hammer is reserved for, like, assault.
Sure.
And things of that nature, Mokkori nature. But here it's like, no, what if I get him back for all the shit he's pulled on me? Like, I still remember him eating all that donburi last episode, and he didn't give me any. Oh, I got this. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Hey, you need some help? Yes! Nah, bitch, get wrecked.
Too bad.
And, like, again, though, I feel like this episode, and really just about every episode we've had this season, feels like a rehash of older episodes. Like, it's greatest hits this season.
It is. I mean, it's well-animated greatest hits, but with a really stupid opening sequence and bad clothes, but it's well-animated.
Well, no, I like Kaori's fit right here at the end. This little blue-black number she's wearing.
I don't like Ryo's clothes.
No, I don't like him either, but I think next episode, he's at least changing back into black pants.
And a red shirt. It's just a white jacket now.
Yeah, okay, I can work with that.
It's a little better. All I'm saying is, it's well animated, but it's got bad clothes. But it's got the old music. But it also has that new opening that's shit.
Yeah.
So...
Like, I wonder if they were getting notes back on those first two episodes, like, hey, y'all, the white pants ain't testing too well, you gotta put him back in some black slacks. We gotta course correct a little bit. Can we keep the white jacket? Fine.
Keep the white jacket, whatever. So that I think is even closer to, like, in some shots of the manga, it's even closer to correct. And even closer to Netflix City Hunter, right? Like, when he's in red shirt, black slacks, and I realize in Netflix City Hunter they put him in this trench coat. I get it. This anime episode, he's in a white jacket. I mean, that's about as close as we're gonna get.
But by that same token, you know, it's still recognizably City Hunter. It's a perfectly fine episode. It's a nice one-off one you can show people that if they just got done watching the Netflix one, you could show them this one easy.
For sure. Yeah, it's like a nice slice. You take a slice out of a cake and you get right there in the center. That is basically what City Hunter is like.
And it's like, ooh, what's this stuff in the middle? Oh, that's Umibozu.
You're gonna want some more of that. Here you go.
Yeah, here you go. So next week, what are we dealing with here?
You know, I don't really know. I didn't understand what was happening.
It looks like we've got another female, either detective or cop.
I don't know. I genuinely did not understand the episode preview.
I think that's what it is, that Ryo's having to teach somebody to shoot again.
Oh yeah, he has to teach somebody to shoot, which is a thing that he's had to do before. I do not remember these episodes, okay? We watched these so long ago, I don't remember them.
It has been 3 years.
This is going to be a two-parter, though. I think
Yes.
it's the only two-parter of this season. Maybe? Maybe.
I think we might have one more after this.
Oh, no.
But that's all it is. We're never going to have a three-parter again.
Wasted a short season with two-parters. But fine. We'll deal with the two-parter then.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So come back next time when we cover the 4th episode of City Hunter 3, Dangerous Detective Game, A Python for the Lady, Part 1.
And if you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on most social media. I'm at JoshKnightTheFirst.
And I'm at MarzGurl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 119th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, Josh is gonna be in danger.
I am? What kind of danger?
The dangerous kind.
Oh, shit.